Hey guys, Diaz here with a special edition of Coog Cinema Reviews. By the way, COVID still a thing. So our team is still scattered, still social distancing. Hope you are too. So we're gonna be recording from our own homes uh, for the foreseeable future. Like I said, we do have a special edition of Coog Cinema Reviews. Today we're gonna take some time to discuss some of our favorite Black films and media. Here at CCR, we think that Black storytelling is a very integral part of the film community and film history in general. And so we just want to take some time to really celebrate that. So let's get to it. So the film I've chosen to talk about today is If Beale Street Could Talk by Barry Jenkins. It's a recent movie. It came out just 2 years ago, 2018, and it's an adaptation of the novel of the same name by the legendary James Baldwin. The movie follows two young lovers, Tish and Fonnie, in 1970s Harlem, New York. Tish is pregnant with Fonnie's baby, but unfortunately, Fonnie is locked up and charged with a rape he did not commit. The film is directed by Barry Jenkins, who achieved pretty viral fame with his 2016 film Moonlight, which won all kinds of awards and Oscars and had that unforgettable Best Picture gaffe with La La Land at the Oscars, switching the cards and everything. But Moonlight really got all the credit and all the praise that it deserved. It really is a fantastic and amazing movie, and that's not really like any sort of hot take, but that's just me saying that it is and giving it all the praise it deserves. Anyways, Beale Street unfortunately didn't really do as well as Moonlight did in terms of box office or awards or anything like that, despite being pretty much just as critically acclaimed and praised. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the film can be pretty dark and bleak and heavy at times, and it can be a rough watch. But Baldwin and Jenkins both realized that this is the reality that Black men and Black women face every day in this country, and for the story to be any more optimistic or hopeful or happy, it wouldn't really be doing their struggles any justice. The film stars Stephan James as Fonnie and Kiki Lane as Tish, which is actually her feature debut. So, pretty good way to start off her career. It also features some great supporting roles from Brian Tyree Henry, who you might know from Atlanta, and Regina King, who actually won the film's only Oscar for her portrayal of Tish's mother, Sharon Rivers. The movie deals with themes of love and family, as well as injustice and hate. And I might add that very few directors working today, if any, can really portray human empathy and human emotion the way Jenkins does. I mean, he adapts Baldwin's delicate prose so well that it really begins to almost feel like you're watching literature in motion. The love and the warmth you feel, coming off of the screen is just so heartwarming. But it is matched every step of the way by the injustices unfolding, and you begin to wonder as the story unfolds, can the innocence and purity and beauty of young love really ever overcome the cruelty of this reality? Beale Street is a tale just as beautiful as it is heart-wrenching and infuriating at times. It's 100% a must-watch for anyone that, or must-read for that matter, actually, for anyone that desires a hauntingly beautiful tale of love that isn't allowed to be. It's a rude awakening for people that may not be aware of the fact of the matter that this is a reality that we live in, and this is just the state of the country, and it always has been for ever. It's a rude awakening, but it's one that needs to be had, so I recommend it.
Yeah, y'all knew this was coming. What's good, Coogs and Cougettes? My name is CJ Moore, and today I will be discussing the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that light the dark so that you could know your left from your right. The chop, 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 judo flipping, blackest anime, if we're being honest with ourselves about it, of all time. Of course, I'm speaking of the Boondocks. Alright, so if you haven't watched the Boondocks and you don't rock with it,
and you ain't black.
The Boondocks is a story, or a show rather, of three urban people going into a neighborhood full of their more light-skinned counterparts.
White people!
In the show, they battle racism, discrimination, oppression, as well as other legal actions that most black people luckily don't have to deal with, but some do. And I like how they do it because they incorporate real-world politics and real-world situations into the show. And I think Aaron McGruder, don't know how to say his name, but homie killed it when it came to that aspect. This is one of my favorite shows, and if you're like me, you have given your computer or your phone enough data from watching this show to give it its own free will. But honestly, it's just, I don't know, it's something about this show. It just like gives you a look into a culture that most people see, but like it's not really what, you know, it seems. For instance, like I personally have never dealt with like a lot of the stuff in the show, but it's just something like you just like really rock with. Or I don't know if that really makes any sense, but screw it, we're gonna keep going with it. Ultimately, it is a really racist depiction of how to be black in America, except it makes satire out of it, and that's what I really like about it.
I guess I just hate to see a child go unbeaten.
Animation, it's a very beautiful animation to me. It's cartoon, obviously, and it kind of seems to flow well, especially when you see like a fight scene or something like that, which, yeah, you see a fight scene in this. That's why I keep saying it's an anime. Yes, it's an anime, by the way. People don't want to admit it. It's an anime. It's an anime. My favorite character happens to be either Huey or Riley, because Huey is the strong Afro man that he is, and Riley is everything else. And I love that about him and the whole show. Grandpa is cool, even Ruckus.
Look here, old dog. Only stealing and shooting I want to see is of this here b-ball. You little future ex-con. Game on!
My favorite episode would have to be the one about R. Kelly. Now, wait. I know. But it's so funny. It is hilarious. Everything about this show is absolutely great. You will love it if you watch it. Or you'll learn something. Maybe something really random. For instance, economics. You can learn economics from the show, or maybe some cultural identity from other people. It's a great show and a great time. I suggest you watch it.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Well, that's it for me, everybody. Again, I am CJ Moore. I am so glad that you guys let me do this, and I hope to have some more quarantine content for you in the future. Go Cougs.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jeana'e Jackson, and today's movie that I will be reviewing is called American Son. The actors starring in this movie are Kerry Washington, Stephen Pasquale, Jeremy Jordan, and Eugene Lee. Basically, the plot of this movie takes place in a Florida police station as we are focused on an interracial couple, Kerry Washington and her husband, Stephen Pasquale, as they are basically going through the motions of trying to find their missing son. And one thing that I think I ultimately just really appreciated in this movie was how real it was in regard to the police brutality that is targeted against people of color, especially black men. And just for me watching it as a black woman, I can only imagine having a black son and just not knowing when he's going to come home, and just having that ultimate fear of just praying that nothing's going to happen to him because of the color of his skin. And so as we're watching this movie, we're just really focused on the emotions that Kerry is going through with trying to get just information from the police officer who is working that night shift, and she's just going crazy because she's not getting any answers. And so ultimately we are really tuned in into the relationship that she has with her husband, because they're technically separated in this film. And so it's pretty much a tug of war of her trying to explain to Stephen Pasquale, like, look, your son is black. your son is black. Yes, he might be biracial. Yes, he is mixed, but the world will see him as black first. And so they are going through this battle of just trying to understand each other, and just her just trying to explain to him how the world sees her son. And it's really touching. It's really moving, and I'm really happy that Netflix has this under the Black Lives Matter collection, because people definitely need to see what it would feel like, you know, even if you aren't a person of color, even if you don't get it or you'll never understand, just what if yourself, you know, like magic if that was you, if you had to stay up all night because you were worried about your son not coming home, not because he's doing anything wrong, not because he's, you know, getting into trouble, but because he's black, because he's a minority, and that's how the world sees him. And so it was really eye-opening. It was very, very authentic, and Kerry Washington, she just really digs down deep into her character, and it's just amazing to watch. It's very refreshing to see, and I definitely think more people should be aware of how it feels and what's going on, because this is happening in our society every day. So I definitely enjoyed that part of the movie. In terms of things that I wasn't really a fan of, I definitely appreciate the movie taking place in the police station, but that's just where it stayed. They didn't really take us out of the police station. There were certain parts where it was kind of like a flashback of what could be happening with their son or where their son is at, but we didn't really get like that one-on-one like character introduction to their son, like period. Like we never we never saw him. He was never introduced. It was kind of like our son is out, we don't know where he's at, and that was just kind of that. So I definitely wish that they would have actually showed the son, like, I don't know, showed moments prior to him missing, or just to give us kind of more background of who he was as a person. So ultimately, the movie was definitely good. It's focused on police brutality and just what's going on in the world with black men in America, and I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. It definitely gets emotional towards the end. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that even though it was refreshing to see like just how authentic it is, it's also very, very sad, and it's just very painful to just watch, just like the agony of any mother just fearing for the life of her child. So highly recommend that you guys watch it, American Son. It is under the Black Lives Matter collection on Netflix, so make sure you check it out. And again, I am Jeana'e Jackson, and I will see you guys later.
Hello everyone, my name is Hannia Yeverino, and for this special edition of Coog Cinema Reviews, I will be reviewing the movie called Pariah. Pariah is about 17-year-old Alike as she is trying to come to terms with her sexuality and, you know, find the acceptance of her family members and community. I think Pariah is a really beautiful movie, and it's a really powerful story, and I think all the technical aspects of it really enhanced everything that was going on, including the cinematography. You know, the cinematography by Bradford Young was outstanding. It was visually striking. The color palette really set the tone for things, and I loved it. You know, I really felt like I was right there next to Alike. And also just want to shout out to Diaz. She directed this film, and I think she did an amazing job. She also wrote the screenplay, and again, like I said earlier, technical aspects really just brought you into the film, including the screenplay, and I really enjoyed everything that was going on, you know, technical wise. Acting wise, I think the whole cast did an amazing job, but Pero Duye, the main character, Alike, I think she she was so good. She acted so great. I really enjoyed seeing her, and I just want to see more of her work now. But overall, the story was really powerful, and it showed how, you know, family acceptance can really affect someone's life, especially if they're a young teen going through, you know, I mean, as a young teen, you go through these changes, and it's hard enough already, but once you are queer and your family doesn't accept you, it's really, really hard, and this movie showed us that. And, you know, Alike's best friend Laura, she was actually kicked out of her home. I don't think this is a spoiler, because it happens, like, you find out right away. She was kicked out of her home for coming out as lesbian to her mom, and she was struggling to get her GED and, you know, struggling to work. So everything it was a really sad movie, but it also showed that there is hope to overcome all the obstacles thrown at you, which I think is really powerful. And if you guys haven't seen Pariah, I really recommend you do. I thank you guys for watching my review, and support Black stories, support Black storytelling and filmmakers. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm Hannia Yeverino again, and thank you guys for watching. Hope everyone's staying safe.
Hey y'all, I'm Jess, and the last movie we're going to be talking about in this video is Sorry to Bother You. This movie was directed by Boots Riley. It stars Lakeith Stanfield, that dude from Get Out, as Cash. And finally, well, also, because there are more people in this movie, it stars Tessa Thompson as Detroit, the girl with the dope earrings. Okay, so before I talk about how absolutely insane this movie gets, because it gets crazy. I was watching this with my sister and we were looking at each other like, what's going on? Before we get there, I'm gonna give you the basics. So the movie starts off, Cash, he's this kind of dude who doesn't have any cash. He's kind of broke. And he's like, okay, well, I'm trying to get any job I can, and he just becomes a telemarketer. But that doesn't really work out for him right off the bat because he's not making any money, because people, they answer his phone calls and they're like, sounds like a sad, poor Black dude to me. I don't want to buy his stuff. But then someone gives him some advice. They're like, bro, you know what you got to do to make this money? You have to sound white, breezy, effortless. Like, you got this money. You don't need this money. And so when Cash does that, he starts making sales. Like, everyone's like, yes. He starts going higher in the ranks. And that kind of, makes trouble for him because the company he works for is kind of shady. And he becomes conflicted because he has a problem. He's like, okay, do I either stand up for social rights and stand with my people, or instead make this money because I need money to live, to pay for my bills? He doesn't know what to do. Well, I'm gonna tell you what he does. He goes for that money because, we all gotta survive. And that's when things hit the wall. So this movie does a really good job of taking our world right now and turning it up like 5,000 notches because it just gets so weird and crazy. Boots Riley does a really good job of like satirizing our real life like problems like racism and capitalism, and just showing it in a way that's really entertaining for us to watch, and not so much like, oh, this is real life, I don't want to think about this, it's stressing me out, it's too political. No, it's like, this is kind of crazy, and it actually makes you think about it without feeling like, ugh, you know what I mean? This movie is just really weird and really fun to watch, and there's absolutely not enough time for me to go over what makes it so weird and special and like all the deep things that are discussed or presented in this movie. I would just suggest you go on Hulu and watch it with your friends because it's a fun watch. And honestly, just watch any movie or show that you heard today in this video, whether it be Pariah or Boondocks or American Son or anything that you heard today. And the main reason why we decided to put out this video for Coog TV about, Black storytellers and films is because today is Juneteenth. And if you don't know what Juneteenth is, well, I'm about to educate you really quickly. If you need more information, just go on Google. But basically, Juneteenth is a day where we celebrate Black people finding out we weren't enslaved anymore. And not the day that, slavery was outlawed, but the day that people actually found out. Communication was a little bit slow back then, so people really didn't want to tell people that they weren't slaves anymore, so that's what that was. But then when we found out, we're like, hey, we're free, Juneteenth, baby. And, we just want to celebrate, Black culture and all things like that. If you want to watch any other, related videos. We have 2 videos put out, I think last week, from our same, from Coog TV, news and sports, Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna put, their links up here. I don't know which side, but click on that. And I hope you like this video. Hope you like and subscribe, and come back for more Coog TV.